People always ask how I balance my family life with 400 shows a year. I'm just doing what I love with the people I love. It's my magic life.
I like Wes Iseli. I like everything about him.
All right, we are back. This week it is Natalie and I, and we are all bundled up. We're just cold here in Virginia. We're supposed to be in the south. We have another major storm coming.
Supposedly. I don't know what it's going to end up being.
Our app says, our phone app with the weather on it says 6 to 10 inches.
Yeah.
Everything else says 2 to 4, dusting, nothing.
So we'll find out tomorrow what we got.
I just knew for sure that my shows were going to cancel. And all of my shows are like, no, we're good. We're not supposed to get much. We're good.
And we're like, where are you getting your information? Our thing says 6 to 10.
Ours says a foot.
What is going on? So, I don't know.
It's stressful, to say the least.
We'll see what happens. Hopefully they're all right and we can do it easy and we can get out easy and do our shows. I'd rather just go do our shows. I don't want to have to reschedule.
I don't want to reschedule either, but I don't want to be stuck on the side of the road.
No, I don't want that either. That's what I'm saying. I hope, well, plus I don't like winter and I'm not a big fan of snow. We had it last week and the kids had a blast, so we got all that taken care of. Done. We don't need any more.
And?
And?
We totaled our car. It's not worth the pay.
It's not worth the, the show's not going to pay for a total car. Right.
Anyway, so what have we been up to since Natalie and I have talked to you since last time? A lot of office work. Not many shows because our shows are rescheduling due to snowstorms.
Yeah.
Due to
ice. I still have one that hasn't rescheduled yet. I mean, she's going to, but
we had like 2 weeks. Took my RV to the shop to get it worked on. And was that a snowstorm even, or was that just an ice storm?
There was snow, but then there was ice. It was like it iced, and then it snowed a bunch, and then it iced some more, and then it stayed cold, so nothing melted.
And that was like a month ago.
And then we had more snow, and then it stayed cold still. Yeah, it was January.
So I was just getting an inspection and an oil change, and in my RV. And I kept it at the mechanics for 2 weeks because I was afraid to take it home. Our driveway's a football field, 2 football fields long. And I did not want to go down the driveway and go into a tree. So I was like, please, please, please.
And they were totally nice. They were like, no, it's fine. If you have ice all the way, no, please, just leave it here. So they were really nice. Very nice people.
But this, should we talk about all right, so the recent storm we had, we got to get the boys outside. And leading up to that, it's just been brutal cold winter, you know? There
was a couple nice days. Because we threw them outside
But that's what I'm saying. There was only a couple nice days. They were getting cabin fever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was January, February.
Yeah, but I feel bad for the boys.
When it's freezing cold outside.
Lana's fine when she was that age to play with dolls and be fine. The boys look out the window and it's like they're trapped in prison, and you can see it in them.
Yeah, they get sick of me. They like to go outside, and it's nice when they go outside because they wear themselves out and then they fall asleep like that at nighttime. That's what I like. But it's good for them, and it's good to get them out and run around, and they like riding on their bikes. They like their sandbox, although I'm not sure how much sand is actually left in the sandbox.
Hardly any. I have a video of them riding their little bikes. They have bikes that are called
balance bikes.
Balance bikes. They have no pedals.
Yeah.
So they went up to the end of my driveway and bit of a decline, and they loved that. They could have done that 50 times.
Do they lift both their feet up? I don't remember. I know I watched the videos, but do they lift both their feet up and just balance as they're going down?
I mean, yeah. They're doing it correctly.
I'm just
it's
curious.
When he got the wobbles, he put his feet down.
Yeah. Well, that's understandable. But those are supposed to be where you don't have to, you go from that to a bike, and you don't need the training wheels, because they learn how to balance.
Yeah.
Balance bikes. Yeah.
Well, they're doing it.
So I was
funny.
Curious.
It's funny because they're boys.
Yeah.
So they're not just riding their bikes. They are finding mounds of dirt and riding down the mound of dirt because they have no pedals. They can't. That's a way to get up speed for them.
Yeah.
And the ramps leading into my work shed and my gym.
Yeah.
They get on those ramps and ride down. Whee!
Yeah.
And they get up on top of that big mount of dirt in the backyard, and they have like meetings.
Yeah.
And they're like talking about where they're going to ride to. Yeah.
Planning their world domination.
4-year-old is pretty cute.
Yeah. It's funny that we couldn't get them to stay on it at first. And now they love them.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
We got them when they were like 2 and a half.
4. It was their 4th birthday party.
They're 4 now.
No,
There's no
it was
way
their
we got
third.
it.
It was their 3rd birthday party. Sorry.
Right. There's no way we got it at 4. But
3rd.
Anyway, so last week's episode of the podcast with Eric Buss was awesome, but we were having technical difficulties, and then it needed to refurbish how far we had gotten in the podcast. So Eric was awesome, and I was like, he's not doing anything that day. He was just waiting for his show that night. So I said, all right, we'll let this upload, and we'll start recording again in an hour. So we get the kids, and we get them all bundled up. I mean, fast, like 5 minutes.
Get them in their snowsuits and jackets and gloves.
Got them outside. It was good snowball packing snow, so the boys are really throwing snowballs. They were loving that.
That was their favorite, yep.
Getting their sister.
Yes, throwing snowballs at their sister.
We rode the sled a little bit, and about 15, 20 minutes they were done anyway.
It was a little longer than that, but...
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
And then they came inside and had hot cocoa and marshmallows.
Yes, they enjoyed that.
And then we got redressed and came back and finished our podcast with Eric.
Yep. It was a good little segment of time to get out and enjoy it, and it was still snowing at that point.
But I don't know what's going to happen with the snow that's coming. I'm so confused.
Yep.
So I met the guy at the church, John.
Yeah.
And I had to run some errands today and passed the church, and one of our friends were at the church. He said it's just supposed to call for a dusting here. Why does my app say this?
That would be great. That would be great. That if it's just a dusting, then we can definitely get out and it won't be an issue.
Right. Anyway.
Fingers crossed.
I got to go to the NRA outdoor show in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania with my father-in-law. Natalie didn't go. She just stayed home with the kids. And Glenn said, what time you want to leave? 4 in the morning? Yeah, I don't want to do that. Well, I don't want to get there after the whole day's shot. So he wasn't joking at all. He wasn't joking.
Well, you got up at 5, and he came in the room at like 5:10. He's like, we were supposed to be gone 10 minutes ago. You're like, what? I thought we were getting up at 5.
And he never answered straight either.
Yeah.
Like when he came in the bedroom, I was putting my shoes on.
He had a smile on his face, but I think he really thought you were leaving at 5, not getting up at 5. Because he was up for a bit. I heard it. I wake up to everything.
Anyway,
so.
I love him, but I just didn't get that. That didn't make sense.
He wanted to get there.
No, I didn't. When we went to bed, what time? All right, I'll see you at 5.
See at 5 means you're walking out your bedroom door ready to go at 5. Not see at 5. You can't see him at 5 if your alarm goes off.
He was still making coffee.
Okay.
Yeah. He wasn't ready to go at that point.
Okay.
Anyway, not 5 minutes after I was ready. So we got there, and he's like, so I'm not bringing a jacket. We'll just leave the jackets in the car. I'm not carrying a jacket around this trade show all day long. It used to be something, the outdoor show, and then they went out of business. So the NRA bought them. So you can't buy guns there, but there's gun people there that you can look at the different guns and order them. But you can't buy guns there.
You can't walk out with one.
But boy, they have everything. If any piece of a gun you need, any supplies you need, they got targets, they got bulletproof vests, they got SWAT gear,
Wow.
They got book bags, they got t-shirts and jackets and hats and backpacks. And that's just one room. And silencers, they have everything. Then the next room is like bow and arrow stuff. Then the next room is a bow and arrow range where people are competing. Then the next room is dogs jumping in the pool. But this year they had people doing the axe chopping contests.
Oh, yeah?
Where they 3 chops, they put the log of wood in and walk on it. And then they have to chop over here, put the log of wood in and walk on it.
Oh,
chop, put the log in,
up.
and then get up to the top and chop it until it falls.
Oh, wow.
So we get to see one round of that, which took a minute and a half. I mean, those guys are fast.
Fast. Wow.
Yeah. And then
I wasn't there when we went last time.
it is so
or at
huge.
least
it is so big.
We didn't see it. It was.
Well, here's the thing. So my friend, Mr. Potato Head, works there, and he's working the Mossberg booth. Natalie's got a Mossberg sweatshirt on, and we go visit him, and then we start shopping and just looking around, shopping. I wasn't looking for anything. I just wanted to go.
Just looking.
It's like going to the biggest outdoor store you can think of. Gander Mountain, Dick's Sporting Goods, times 50.
Yeah.
That's how big it is.
Mm-hmm.
We're shopping, and we're shopping, and we're shopping, and we've probably been there, I don't know how long. I don't know how. Hours. And he said, hey, I'm gonna sit down over here. Because they have concerts at nighttime. Your daily ticket gets you a concert ticket to go to the...
Who was playing that night?
Like big country singers every night.
Wow.
I had no idea. They have a room with like local country people singing, and then a room in the amphitheater. The books are downstairs. You can look up the names.
Interesting.
But I didn't know.
Yeah.
But one of the rooms has a whole bunch of bleachers for the smaller shows.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I just want to take a break. I said, all right, well, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Well, finding the bathroom from that room probably took 15, 20 minutes. I had to go here, down the hall, down here, down here.
Yeah.
So by the time I come back, it's 15, 20 minutes. Then I sat down with him for like 3. And he said, all right, let's go. Okay. No problem. And I was kind of thought, he's taking a break. I never take breaks. He's taking a break. When I got back up on my feet after sitting down for 3 minutes, my feet were hurting. I didn't realize that I was hurt. I didn't realize because I was moving.
You didn't wear good shoes.
Oh, I wore mine. Yeah. So, anyway, that's all well and good. And I walked it out, whatever it was. It's like they're bruised in the bottom. I don't know. And then we go back and say goodbye to Mr. Potato Head. We're done for the day. And we go buy a couple things because that first room you enter, you don't want to buy in that room right away because you have to exit out that room and you're going to carry it all day. So I got some ammo cases. I did get ammo cases and some merch for you, T-shirts and stuff for you and Lana. But that was all I got. And then got back into his car. It was so cold. You had to take a bus to the parking lot. We were out there waiting for the bus, maybe 15, 20 minutes.
And you didn't have your jackets.
I didn't have my jackets. Left it in the car, and I was, for a reason, there was no faking it. And I'm around all these manly men, and I got full body shakes going on. So embarrassing. And then on the way back, it's just as cold. I mean, it's later in the day, and it's even colder. But anyway, so we get all that. We go to the restaurant. He gets out, and he has a little doctor walk he does. He has this fast-paced walk.
Fast walk, yeah.
And I get out of the car, and it's like, I can't move my legs. It hurt all the way up. It was just, everything was bruised.
Shoes are important, honey.
Everything was
worn
bruised.
Better shoes.
But it was funny, because I was so cold, and everything was tense, and I also couldn't walk. I don't know. It was awful. It was awful. But, and then, he's got heated seats in his car. Fantastic. But then the restaurant we eat at, I'm in the window.
Oh, no.
My butt is freezing. And it's not like it's used to the cold. It's used to heat, and then the cold makes it like it's sucking out the heat that's in it. So my butt was freezing. It was awful. That whole meal, my butt was cold.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
But we had fun. I did not take my allergy medicine because I didn't have a normal breakfast. I think I had a protein bar. That was it, like just a snack bar and coffee. That was it. So I didn't think to take my vitamins and I just didn't. I'll do that when I have lunch or something. Then by the time we did lunch, I was so tired just not thinking about it. I didn't dig that out. And I ended up with the worst migraine. I mean, it was just brutal. And we were watching TikToks all the way home. I would just play them for him on whatever my conspiracy theory TikToks are that he's seeing. And just next video. And we pause and we talk about the conspiracy theory that went along with it. We were talking conspiracy theories, and he's like, yeah. He didn't buy any of it. And so anyway, we get home, and I tell him, I said, look, I love you. I'm going to bed. I'm going to kiss my children and my wife goodbye. Good night. I'm going to bed. I'm literally sick at this point. This migraine is so bad. And I send Lana out to the car to get my stuff. Like, I don't even want to carry that in the house. I was hurting. And he tells her, I think I broke your husband.
Yeah. Because I was working, I was doing school upstairs in our bedroom when you came home because the boys were playing downstairs. So Lana was sweet enough to watch them so I could get some more schoolwork done. And you came out, and I told you, I said, well, where do I go to do my schoolwork? I want to be able to concentrate. And you said, don't worry, I'll fall asleep next to you. And you did. I felt bad, though, because I was working on an outline. I had to flip through my research to figure out
It wasn't that. I heard you typing.
Oh, yeah, I had to type.
I heard the but I didn't care.
You fell right asleep. And then when I went downstairs to get the boys ready for bed and everything, my dad comes in and he goes, I think I broke your husband. And I was like, well, he didn't take his allergy medicine, so it's migraine. And then he told me about you waddling into the restaurant. I was like, that's hilarious.
It hurt. I didn't know I hurt until I stood up and started walking.
Yeah.
That was the weird part.
Yeah.
Or until I stopped.
Well, yeah. That's it. You gotta wear better shoes next time. Those shoes you wore are like not wearing shoes. They have no support.
Right.
You need better shoes.
They're just cheap. I could buy 5 pair for the price of 1.
I get that.
And then I go through them when they get dirty. I just throw them away.
Wear better shoes next time.
Willow came over, and
yeah,
I think the reason we ended up gutting her room that she stayed in for 5 years, and now it's the boys' playroom, Lana's playroom. Lana's got her playroom back, which really is the boys because they take it over. It's 2 to 1.
Yeah.
Right? And we packed up all of Willow's stuff, so I think part of the reason she wanted to come over was to get her stuff back.
Yeah. But, I mean, she also... So, they came the night before, obviously, and spent the night because they left at 5 in the morning. And then they spent the next night when they came back, because that was a really long day. It was a 4-hour drive there and back. Yeah, each way. So, he spent the night and then left on Sunday morning, a little bit after we left for a show. And so Lana wanted her to come out and hang out and everything. And so she was like, well, can I? I was like, well, you are welcome here anytime you want to come over. Come on over. You don't even have to, you just say, hey, I'm coming over here. And I'll tell you, come on, or we're not home. One of the two. And so I said, but you're always welcome. Come on. So she came over, and her and Lana hung out practically the entire time. And they watched Stranger Things and had a good time. And I was just doing schoolwork, and
you did school the whole time.
I got schoolwork done. I got it done. So,
well, I don't have it on here yet to talk about because I have a whole list of notes to talk about. Let's skip ahead and talk about your teacher.
Oh, so I'm taking 2 classes. I'm taking epidemiology, and I'm taking biostatistics. Neither which of I will ever use again in my life. But in order to get to the classes that I want and need, I have to take these for some unknowable reason. I was looking at the stuff I'm reading for biostatistics last night. I'm reading it going, never, I won't have to use this ever again. In no way, shape, or form will I need to use this when I am...
I was talking to my friend Ron tonight and telling him about your classes, and I said, these classes these are just classes they make her take in college. He was going to school to be a dentist, and he had to take chemistry and biology. And he's like, I'm working in people's mouth. Never needed that. Never needed that.
Nope. I won't need this either.
Yeah.
I won't. But anyway, I have to get through it.
And it's not like the dentists are making the chemicals that go in your mouth. No. You're buying,
right.
I need some of that.
Right. So anyway, I have A's in both classes, which I'm very excited about, and hopefully it'll stay that way. 3 more weeks. 2.5, 3, whatever you want to say. We'll say 2.5 just to feels better. But
2 at this point, isn't it?
No, it's 2 more weeks after the end of this week.
Huh.
Yeah. But anyway, my biostatistics class, I would turn in, he has us do chapter problems every week and turn it in. And each week I would get the first week I got something wrong, and I emailed him, and I was like, I don't feel like I got this one wrong. Can you explain it to me? Because I don't understand. If I got this wrong, I don't understand it. And I did that for like 2 or 3 of them. And he wrote back and goes, oops, sorry. Your grade's been changed. Oh, okay. The next week I got like a C or something on the same thing. And then I had to write him again and be like, I feel like these are correct. And so, again, I got, oops, sorry. The next week, I got an F. Like, I failed the assignment, and I boo-hooed.
Oh,
and
so I'm
looked at
downstairs.
Wes
I'm
and-
downstairs in my office, and the walk-in closet of my house is on the other side of the house and upstairs, and I could hear her crying.
Yeah.
I told the people at church she was boo-booing. She wasn't that bad. I can hear you across the
I
house.
was crying.
It was.
I
It
was
wasn't
crying.
a little whimper.
I couldn't help it.
But
I
then
got
when
an
you
F.
say, and then I called my teacher and got the grade fixed, it's not that fast.
No.
It takes her hours to check her sources to get this answer correctly.
Right.
Hours.
So I had to, right.
And then you have to wait days for the response.
Yeah. So it said I got an F. And I boo-hooed. And I told Wes, I said, if I fail this class, I'm not taking it again. I'm done. I'm just not doing this. And he was like, oh, it's twice already it's happened. Check it, see. And I was going to do it anyway because I'll figure out what I got wrong. And so I had to write him another email and be like, okay, please explain this. I even sent an email. I thought I understood this. I was devastated when I got my grade back. I really thought I understood this. I really thought I did it right. And I went point by point, each question that was wrong. And I sent that in, and I waited over 24 hours. I finally got a response back that said, your grade's been changed. Something's wrong with my computer. I don't know what's going on with the grading system. It's messing up. This is the most information I got from all of them. And it went from an F to 100%. I mean, but it's just this emotional roller coaster of you failed. Oh, never mind. No, you didn't. You failed. Oh, never mind. You didn't. And you're like, oh my gosh. So I finally got a grade back on something I turned in, not this last week, but the week before. And I only got one wrong, and I really did get it wrong. So maybe he fixed it. And now I'm waiting on grades back on two things that I turned in last week. And each time I log in, I'm looking for grades to see. Haven't got it back yet.
It's been awful to see her on this roller coaster. And I'm like, report him. He's not doing his job. We're paying them thousands of dollars for this class. Report him. Tell teachers. Tell his supervisors. She looks him up, and he is on the board of that department.
He's the chair of the department. Yeah. So I don't know. But I decided I was going to wait a week and see what happened after he did give the explanation of, oh, it's the computer. Because we got to thinking, well, even if it wasn't the computer, maybe he said it was the computer, and it was really like a graduate assistant or something not grading things correctly. And he had to fix that. And it was just easier and kinder instead of blaming him to say he had something wrong with his computer. Maybe he really did have something wrong with his computer. It's supposed to grade it automatically or something. I don't really know. But
when I was going to college, if I got an F, I got an F. I don't think I ever got any Fs in college, maybe a C. But all right, I missed those questions. I'm already studying next week's stuff. I didn't go back and see what I got wrong because that's not going to be on the next test. That's going to be on the finals, but it's not going to be on next week. So I'm not looking back. I'm looking forward. I got to do better next week. She's wanting to know everything because I was a C student. That's an A student. That's the difference in thinking. But how many other people in the class thought like me and just said, oh, crap, I got an F this week. I need to work harder.
right. Yeah. I hope.
Because the workload is a lot.
It is.
Even to catch up. And even just to stay on track.
Right.
Much
It really
less
is.
double doing what you were doing.
Going back and checking your professor. Right. So
Not cool.
this week I got a grade back that, it was correct. So we'll wait and see.
Let's see if our influence can do anything. Not cool, Liberty University.
No.
Nobody cares.
No. And it's not Liberty University's fault. It's that specific professor. My other class is going great. Doing them. Have no issues. So far. I still have, these last couple weeks, it's projects due for both classes, and I feel overwhelmed. So.
Hey, like 100% in the other class?
No, I have an A in the other class, but not 100%.
You nerd.
Well, I should do good, don't you think? We're
Yeah.
paying for it.
Yeah. You
Better
should
do good.
You should do good.
I want to do good. Even
And-
though I'm never going to use these classes again, I still want to do good.
And she's going to school to be a nutritionist.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to sign up for her newsletter and find out all these health benefits of everything she can do for you.
I'll have more to share when I'm taking classes that I can get information to share from.
She could tell you
I'm
about
gonna get
leprosy.
more stuff.
If you have leprosy, you will lose weight. I think I know that.
Well, you'll lose something. But yeah, it's if you don't get it treated, But yeah, that's what my project on it is on in epidemiology. So, going good. Going good.
So, in the cold, we're thankful for every show. You
Yes.
know, I had somebody on the other day. It was Wes Barker, I think. He was researching me. I mean, we'd known each other, but I think he went on and started looking at some old podcasts and different things. And he was like, dude, hearing that you do 400 shows a year, that's just crazy. Because we do everything. If they pay our going rate, some people say I don't do nursing home shows. They don't pay anything.
Yeah, they do.
The nursing homes we do pay our going rate. We don't do $88 shows.
Right.
We charge them our going rate. So if
Right.
they pay it, we're there. It doesn't matter. Kids' birthday parties, family shows, church shows.
And it's
weddings.
not like we live in New York or California or Las Vegas where we live.
You can specialize and only do
Right.
do wedding circuit.
Right. We live in Virginia, so we need to be more. What's the word? I don't know.
Magic for all occasions.
Yes. We have to be more flexible in the shows that we take.
So anyway, we had a kid's birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
I've never played down to the kids and done, hey kids, look, I got bubble gum on my butt. And acted like a clown and done stuff like that. I do my show. It's, me producing Dubs, Natalie doing her stuff in the show, Lana doing mind reading, and
Yeah.
it's our show that we do. And then we add illusions to that show for our illusion show.
The only difference is with birthday parties is you use more kid volunteers than
Right. So,
others. But that's it.
but we don't dumb it down.
No.
Right?
No, usually the parents are watching too and having a great time.
The parents and all the other parents and their
Right,
friends.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, all the adults.
And grandmas and everybody. And wow.
Yeah.
And a comment that I get at library shows and birthday parties, you're a real magician.
Gee, thanks.
What is that?
I don't know. I guess they thought you were going to have bubblegum on your butt and start laughing.
And a clown or something. Yeah.
Instead, you actually did magic. I don't know.
But anyway, we did a birthday party recently. And when she says flexible, we are flexible. Some shows, it's just, we're going to go in there, we're going to do our absolute 1,000% the best we can. We're going to smile, we're going to get that paycheck and go home. That's what we're there for. We're going to make them happy, and I want them talking about my show for the next 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
I want them talking about how great the performance was.
Yeah.
If things aren't perfect, we try not to even call attention to it.
Right.
But we did a show, and if the people that hired us are listening to this, it's not on you guys. It's not your fault.
No.
But it was cold.
It was freezing.
It
They asked us the week before, like, hey, it's supposed to be this temperature. Are you okay with doing the show outside?
Didn't they say 40s, though? They said it's going to be in the 40s.
Yeah. It wasn't. But, yeah. And we were like, if you and your guests are okay with it being that cold outdoors and doing an outdoor show, then sure. But it didn't get that warm. It was in the 30s.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
So driving there, I'm thinking,
She said she had a backup plan.
yeah. Oh, and I was thinking on the way there, I'm like, it's in the 30s. I mean, it was like mid-30s.
And it was local.
And-
it was
and
within
I'm thinking,
45 minutes of our house, so we left
yeah.
the kids at home.
Because it was cold and there's a chance of it being outside, so I just figured leave them at home. And so good thing, because they did not move it inside. Well, I was thinking there was a 90% chance that they would move it inside because it was so cold. Nope, they did not.
And you remember 20 minutes ago where Natalie said she's not a winter person?
I'm not a winter person.
She was grumbling all the way there. There's
I
no
was.
way these people are going to have this show
Mhm.
outside. I just know it. It's not going
And
to
then
be
we
outside.
got there, and I see little kids running around in the backyard, and so my percentage kind of went down. But I was thinking, well, maybe they're letting kids play around outside, and then they come in for the show. Because, you get a little bit of energy outside, and then you come in, and you have a show, and you eat some cake and ice cream, and nope. All of it was outdoors. And I was still mumbling, and then I smiled when I got back there. But, yeah, it is what it is. And it went well. Everybody was shivering. One lady looked how I felt. She was just sitting in her chair with her hands in her pockets,
And
her
a big
mouth
winter
covered.
coat.
Yeah, her mouth covered by her coat, her hood up, like you could see her nose and her eyes. And she just had, by her eyes only, you could tell she was like miserable. And I was like, I feel your pain. But yeah, it was cold. And at the end of the show, they wanted to take a big picture with Wes and everybody at the party, and that's great, wonderful, perfect. They get together, and the birthday mom is there, and a little girl looks up at her, and she goes, "Can we please go inside now? I'm so cold." And the mom looks at her, and she goes, "Oh, yes, we're going in. That's a great idea." And me in my head, I'm going, would have been a great idea an hour ago.
But the kids got a February birthday party.
Yes.
Daggone it.
It is what it is. They had a good time. They enjoyed the show. People had smiles on their faces, except for that one lady. But beyond that, people were really having a good time. And so I think, with the distraction of the show being over, the cold probably sunk in more.
That probably helped.
As well. So, yeah.
And
it's just funny.
I have boots with like a faux fur inside of them.
Mm-hmm.
And
I do not.
Still, when we came home that night, we just sat in the living room by the fire. And I felt like it took a little while to completely warm up.
Oh, it did. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't. My toes were in pain. I don't have faux fur. My toes were in pain. I felt my lips were not working right.
The lady was paying her, and she was like, "I got the clear equipment through."
Yeah. I was like, "So you got balloons? I am so sorry. My lips are frozen. I can't talk." Because they had wine available for the adults, and I think it was the birthday. I think it was the mom's mom, the grandma, offered me some. And I didn't want her thinking I had gotten into their wine. And I was like, my lips are frozen. I'm sorry, I can't, they're not moving right. But anyway, and then I got to thinking about it later. I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that because
she's the one that
she's the one that had the outdoor show. And I said, sorry, my lips are frozen because it's so cold. But anyway, oh well, it was done at that point. But what do you do? My lips are frozen, or let her think you drank some alcohol while you were there. I mean.
But that's the thing. So people book us for a magic show, and they're like, "Can we do an outside show?" Outside shows are
fine. They're okay.
They're never as good as an inside show.
Nope. Yeah.
Because during the summer, all right, springtime, if a fly lands on a kid's hand, that distracts the kid.
Yep.
If an anthill.
Yep.
A bee flies by.
Yep.
Cars going by. Airplanes going by. The next door neighbor starts mowing the grass. We've had all these instances. I'm naming instances that we've experienced.
Yeah. Any sort of bug, spider, anything.
Yeah.
Grasshopper, doesn't matter.
Our kids picking up grass and throwing grass.
Right.
And they're throwing grass at the person next to them. Yeah. You have none of that inside.
No, yeah. It's better to be inside, but people want to do it outside, and then, so.
Yeah, it's fine.
You just tell them backup plan.
But it never looks as good. I always use the analogy that, you put David Copperfield in a cornfield. It could be his stage and his show,
but it's not going to be.
It's not going to be the same. It's something about being indoors
and being outdoors. It shrinks what it looks like too. Yeah.
It looks much bigger inside. It always does.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was that show.
It was fine. We survived. They enjoyed the show. They really complimented and had there were a lot of people, not just the birthday kids' parents, but a lot of different people coming by and saying how much they liked the show. So
and Grandma was adorable. She was asking, "Now, how did you guys meet?" Da 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 da.
Yeah, she's the one that offered me wine.
Yeah, and they moved in to the area from Maryland to be closer to the grandkids. And I'm like, God bless you. That's so sweet.
That is sweet.
So anyway, that was an experience.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to say it. That was an experience.
So 400 shows a year. People tell us, you've been to our house before. Just come on, we're having a party. I've been to your house, but I might have had 5 shows that day. I don't remember where your house is, what your house. I don't know.
Some places, if they explain, like, oh, my house has the big old pink chimney, you can go, oh, yeah, because the big old pink chimney, that stands out. You know what I mean? If they have something that...
This one is going to say, it was the one where it was freezing cold outside.
And we were in the backyard.
Yeah.
And every time a kid went down a slide, you just thought something was breaking. Like, do you remember that? The kid went down the slide, you thought everything was just falling.
Because we were on a hill.
Yeah.
We were down. I thought all my stuff was falling.
Yeah, because that sliding, the kid's going down the plastic slide.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So Natalie in homeschooling, she has reading, math, the Bible study part, and then she does science. Just on Fridays, they have the lesson.
There's one.
And she says, well, that's help with this part. You need help with this part. I'm not good at this part.
Yeah, the experiments, I do my best with the experiments, but it's kind of like your magic tricks where read it and now do it, right?
Sometimes
read the instructions and put this experiment together. It's not as easy as it looks, and I feel like more times than not, it doesn't work.
So
I
think you have to come at it. It's like a magic trick. You're trying to explain what you see and do, and somebody else gets something out of that. And if they do it that way, it won't work. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll get a magic trick, and I'm like, Natalie, what does this say? And she'll read it. I'm like, oh, I got one for you. There was a trick that I will never forget, and it said count these cards, and then reverse count these cards. That's what it said in the text. So there's a pile of 5 and a pile of 5. So I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I did 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In my head, that made sense. But did it not make sense to you? Am I being silly?
No, I
Oh, you made a face. I was like,
no,
did I say
sorry,
something wrong?
I'm
But look, if I have 5 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
But then the other 5, they want you to reverse the order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes. I know, I've heard this story. Sorry.
No. All right. So I thought I was not making sense. So I was like, oh my gosh. But here's the thing. I read it out of a book, and somebody recommended it highly to me. And I worked on it for 8 hours. This is before I met you. Lots of free time. And the weird thing was, every 15th time I did it, the trick worked.
So that got you, kept you motivated.
I'm doing something. Trying. What am I doing right? How is this working? But I think that's how your stuff is.
Yeah.
If you'd work on it for 8 hours, every single experiment would work.
I've worked on it for 8 hours, and usually by the time I've screwed it up, I've used up some sort of material.
They give you,
so I can't redo it.
They give you 13 inches of yarn, but you only need 12. Well, if you cut 12 and it breaks, you have no more yarn.
Yeah. I mean, unless you have your own yarn somewhere, but I mean, yeah. So they give you a box of science materials, and there's some things like, if you need a paper plate or something, well, that's on a list of you supply that this week. It's fine. But a lot of the stuff they give you in the box. But anyway, I feel like we've had a better year this year. We've gotten a lot more to work. There's one. There was one where the supply list, it gives you a supply list the week before. And it said, you don't need to supply anything. Great. And get to the actual experiment day for that week, and it said, you need 2 lemons. And I'm like, well, Lana, let's read how what's supposed to happen. This was supposed to happen, but we don't have 2 lemons, so sorry. So we didn't get to do that one. But, that was one of those misprint things. But anyway, I feel like we've had more luck this year. But the one you're talking about is we made a Newton's cradle where, you have the balls and you pull one up and let it go and it smacks into the other 4 balls and 1 ball on the other side raises up and then comes back and it just goes back and forth. Then you can do 2 on each side, 3, and then that middle one will transfer each time. We made one and it works. Woohoo!
And Lana kept it and she kept it.
It's in the windowsill of the schoolroom.
So, what was the noise that our microwave was making when we slammed the door last year? It just started going zzz.
Yeah, just buzzing.
I'm by myself. They went to ballet or musical theater lessons. I'm by myself. The boys are upstairs. But I'm cooking something in the microwave, and I slam the door, and I hear bzzz. Oh, no. I'll open the microwave and shut it gingerly. Bzzz. We just bought this microwave. We bought a microwave when we moved in. 4 years later, we bought another one. 6 years later, we bought another. I don't know, 5 years later. This one isn't that old. It's a year.
Not even a year.
So it shouldn't be that thing shouldn't go bad this quick. Yeah. And I'm like, wait, I hear it over here. And I start walking around the kitchen. I can't find where this noise is. I walk all the way to Lana's school section.
This was something we made last year, 2 years ago, and she still has it, but it's falling apart at this point.
It works.
It's a solar panel, and it was supposed to. So there's a little solar panel on top of a thing and it has a container and everything. But the point is, it made it spin like a spin top.
It makes the motor.
Yeah.
It makes the motor run.
And yeah, so it was in the sunlight, and it started buzzing because the motor was running.
The way the sun moved through the kitchen. The way the sun moved through the kitchen. At the point where I shut the microwave, the sun had cooked it enough
that it turned it on. Yeah.
I was freaking out. I sent you a video.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was on my hands and knees crawling around the kitchen trying to find this noise.
And we were chuckling.
Because it echoed really weird throughout the whole kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I heard it. I was like, oh no. Not the microwave. We just got a new one. But yeah. And you said you were afraid it was the heater.
Well, the heater had been working overtime we had that run during the ice. I don't think it got above freezing for 3 weeks.
A while. Yeah, it was cold.
Yeah. So I thought the heater was working overtime and it was going bad.
Yeah.
So since we're talking about Lana, she got a new part in her play that she was excited about.
Yeah, so her musical theater is doing like Wicked and Wizard of Oz, just different portions from each thing. And so they were working on the Wizard of Oz portion today, and she came out all excited. She goes, I get to be Dorothy. And I was like, that's so awesome. And then in another part, though, so they switch up parts. So like for this scene, she'll be Dorothy, and apparently she's got quite a few lines for Dorothy in this scene. And then in another scene, somebody else will be Dorothy. And so apparently in another scene, she gets to be the Scarecrow. And she's like, that just seems silly. I was like, why? That sounds like it would be fun to be the Scarecrow, because he can be all loosey-goosey.
I told her, she said, yeah, but I have to act like I got no brain. I said, you have to have motivation for that, Lana. Just think, who can you embody that? Just pretend you're Willow.
Oh, that's just wrong. Oh, Willow. Not even here, and she gets made fun of. Poor thing. Picked on in absentia.
But at the same time, I was like, just embody that. Think about who that would embody. And she says, Dad. At the same time, I said, Willow.
Serves you right.
Daggone it.
That's funny. Does serve you right, though.
But anyway, so Natalie was in school plays, and Natalie, for every Halloween, it seemed like as a child,
I was always
Dorothy.
Dorothy. Yeah. Dorothy before she went to Oz, because I didn't have ruby slippers.
So it was always that. And Natalie got to be Dorothy in her play in high school? No.
I didn't get to be Dorothy. I was only a sophomore. I didn't get a lead part.
Okay.
And then I was too tall, and none of the guys were tall enough, so I never really got a lead part because of that.
So tell them what you were, though.
Isn't that ridiculous?
What were you?
I got to be a Winky guard, and I got to be a tree that threw apples at Dorothy and the Scarecrow.
Did you have a speaking line in that?
As a tree? Possibly. I might have. I think so. Hurled an insult at him. I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah. I had some solos. I had little things here and there, but because I was tall, I didn't get to be a lead part with the lead man because the man had to be taller than the woman. No, he doesn't.
Doesn't.
No.
So, when we got married, I don't think we've ever said this on the air. When we got married, my brother gives the toast, being the best man. And he's like, everybody here knows that Natalie's favorite movie is The Wizard of Oz, and she loves The Wizard of Oz so much. I'm so happy that she found her munchkin.
So wrong.
And I told Lana that today, and Lana snorted. Lana laughed like that, and then she snorted. And I had to call my brother and tell him that, his joke played that well 20 years later. And she's like, that's so funny. I wish I was there, she said. Yeah, you weren't there yet, Lana.
No, not yet. You weren't even thought of yet. I do believe at that particular point in time, no, we had changed our minds by then. Never mind.
What?
I was thinking at that particular point in time, we were probably thinking we weren't going to have kids, but we had met
Peter
by then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a magician friend, Peter Pitchford, that really changed our thinking about kids.
Yeah.
Because we had seen so many bad families of
just running wild and just walking all over the parents and just being rude and just crazy. And we were just like, no, we're not going to do it. No.
And God bless Peter Pitchford.
Yeah, he was like, I want you to meet my family. Can you meet us for dinner? And we're like, oh, yeah. I mean, we were nicer about it than that, but that was going in my head.
I was excited. That's how she was. Don't take that the wrong way. That was all you, though.
You weren't excited to meet the kids.
Well, I wanted to talk magic.
You wanted to talk magic, but you weren't excited to meet the kids. Because he had 4 kids, and we're like, well, here we go. It's not going to...
He might have 5 now. He has more.
But his kids were so well behaved. And they had rules that they followed when they went out, blah, 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 blah. I don't know that I would say our kids are as well behaved as his kids, but I feel like we do pretty good when we go.
I mean, they were, excuse me, Dad, can I have another piece of pizza?
Yeah.
Excuse me? Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Very sweet.
That's kind of, we were like, oh, wow, look at that.
It can happen.
Yeah. So.
You don't have to raise.
That changed our minds. And then my biological clock started ticking, so that really...
Dude, it was so loud. It was
very
so loud.
It was very loud for Lana, and it was even louder by the time we had the boys too. And then it completely turned off right when I found out we were having twins. I was thinking, as I was pregnant, thinking it was only one, that I don't know how I was going to do it, but somehow I had to convince Wes to have a third. Somehow, some way, I was going to have to convince him.
Why the heck do you want 3?
Because I was like, I don't think I'm done after this one. I think I want one more. And
in your advanced maternal age?
Shut up. And that's your fault for waiting so long.
That's what the doctor put on her chart. Advanced maternal age.
And then we found out we were having twins, and that clock just turned right on off. It was done. I said, nope, all done. Oh, that's interesting. And he's glad. Do you see that sigh of relief?
Oh, I'm happy. I'm done. We got a 4-year-old still in diapers. A 4-year-old.
Yep. We're trying. We're really trying. Really trying.
Lex could care less about pee.
Every hour to every hour and a half.
And Julian could care less about either.
Any of it, yeah. They'll both go pee in the potty. Lex will. Number 2 in the potty, without doubt. He has not had an accident with number 2 since he started going
Since September of last year. Since he was 3.
But the pee, we cannot get him to go pee in the potty. I mean, he will, but not on purpose. Like, oh, I have to go and you're making me try, fine. But to say, ooh, I gotta go, I don't want to go in my pants, doesn't work.
And we bought the special underwear. She was just washing underwear all day long. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
It'll click.
I sure hope so.
Well, by the time they're married.
I don't know. At what size do you have to start buying adult diapers?
When they're 7.
When they're 7. Great.
So right now in the world, and we're not a political podcast. We don't want to be a political podcast because I can't keep up and I can't fight. And I don't want to fight. And I don't want that world.
Nope.
But the whole Doge thing about Elon Musk finding all that government stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what side anybody's on. But, you hear about the people in government making $100,000, $200,000 a year, but they're worth $14 million.
Right.
Something ain't right.
Right.
They said they're going after that next. They're going to start looking into that. Which, God bless them, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And on both sides, I don't care what party you're on. How are you double dipping? How are you doing that?
Right.
And, I was hearing a podcast about the U.S. aid thing. It isn't U.S. aid, as in it's helping. It's allied in defense. It's not aid.
I feel like you said something else different when you
or
told me the first
allied
time.
in democracy or something. It means something else. It doesn't mean aid. I didn't write that down.
Oh.
But anyway, and all the stuff that they were giving money to, and stupid.
Okay.
And then today I'm seeing that, how many people was on Social Security that was over 100?
Oh my gosh, that was ridiculous. Over 150. There was like over 1,000 people who were over 150 getting Social Security. I would like to meet them.
So it's,
and ask them how they lived so
some
long.
weird stuff going on. The only thing that we know about government funding, government spending, government whatever, and you could say we're to blame, but we're a small business. What are you going to do? is when somebody says they have government grant money for the
Right.
arts.
Yeah.
And if they don't spend it, they don't get it next year, so they have to spend it.
So they hire us.
What's the biggest show you can do for us?
Yeah.
How can we make it bigger? You want
Right.
more than that? You want more than that? Yeah. So they'll inflate the price of the show. Not inflate the price. They'll buy more illusions. They'll buy, so we'll teach a class ahead of time.
Right.
We'll do bigger illusion show. We'll
Right.
meet and greet and
So
all
that
this,
they can
all these add-ons to
spend
make it
their
more
grant money,
expensive.
so they get the same amount the next year.
Because if
Yeah.
they don't spend that amount, they don't get that much. We didn't use all of that. Well, okay, you don't get that much next year.
But I don't know if they're doing right or they're doing wrong, because they're supposed to be using that grant money on the arts. And technically, they are.
But it just seems weird. If we don't use this, we don't
get it next year. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
It's just
yeah.
a talking point.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's not like they're taking it, squirreling it away from themselves. They are spending it on.
Oh,
the
they're
arts.
not putting it in their own pocket
So-
and being a theater and having,
Right.
thousands of dollars from the government and then,
And then just keeping it. Right.
Pocketing it.
Right. So, yeah. But I don't know.
that was
What
my
happens
only
to
take
that?
on us that we've seen.
Yeah.
Government squirreliness. Would you say it's squirreliness?
I don't
When they
know.
outright say,
We need to spend this money.
yeah, we need to do bigger. We need to go bigger. What else can we do to make it bigger?
Yeah.
We need to give you more
Yeah,
money.
I don't know.
Let's see. How much time we got, Nat?
About 8 minutes.
All right. So, Natalie, during this podcast, I don't know if you noticed, but she's had some spells. I've seen her turn white twice. Tell
I
everybody
turned white?
Tell everybody how you feeling. You're never tan, honey, but I noticed the shades of white.
Oh, thanks.
You went from olive to paper, back to olive.
Otherwise, am I faking it okay?
You're faking it great.
Thanks.
I can tell, though.
I'm just in pain. So
tell everybody.
I'm hurting. I hurt, and it's from the complications of whatever happened with my pancreatitis and my bile leak and getting my gallbladder out, and yeah. So it was gallbladder, bile leak, put in a stent, get pancreatitis, and then had blood clots in my lungs.
And
That was 2.5 years ago, and gone through loops and hoops and everything else trying to figure out what's wrong. And then they said, okay, we're going to refer you to Johns Hopkins. And I was like, great. And then they finally call. It takes forever, but they finally call and go through all the information. I give them all my information, finally get to health insurance. And I give them my health insurance, and they go, oh, honey, we don't take that. Okay. So how much is it? Because I mean, if it's not like horrible, I'll still come in. Oh, it's just to walk in the door. It's $500.
just to shake their hand.
I don't even know what a handshake costs. Walking through the door is $500. And I was like, well, $500 just to walk through the door. What is it going to be for all the tests that they're going to run again and everything else? And so I told Wes, I said, no, we're not going to do it, because I can't spend all that money on the chance that I'm probably going to get I don't know, yet again. And so Wes
Because that's
and
all
I,
it was. It was just a chance that they were going to figure it out. John
Right.
Hopkins could probably figure out what's wrong with you.
Right.
So
So
it's not
I
guaranteed.
can't do. That's going to be thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars for tests that they're going to want to run and everything else. And I
That
was
you've
like,
already had done at the other hospitals, but they're not
Yeah.
going to like those answers.
Right. And so I was like, yeah, we talked to somebody, and they were like, well, they might use the results of the other tests, but more than likely they're going to want to run their own and do it all over again. Why? I don't know. But anyway, so I just said no, because I don't want to spend all that money and get a I don't know answer, and then something comes up and we need that money because something for our kids, something like that. And I've spent it on me for an I don't know answer. I'm like, no, we're not doing it. Maybe there's somewhere else that they can recommend us to that will take our insurance. I don't know. I haven't asked because, quite frankly, I'm sick of the back and forth. But Wes thinks, and I'm starting to lean towards agreeing with him.
Wes, just admit it. How great is Wes?
That
How great is Wes?
he thinks that
You went to all these professionals and heads of industries in these scientific hospitals, the star of the gastroenterology world, and he went like this to you.
I know, right?
But wait.
He was not.
And your other doctors and all those scans, they all didn't do it in your face, but they did this.
That's it. We don't know.
And Wes Iseli, lowly magician, diagnosed you as a professional.
Yes.
And now you're coming to realize, my husband isn't as stupid as I thought he was.
I never said you were stupid.
Go ahead, tell him.
I think you're a very smart man. We're thinking it's chronic pancreatitis. Reason being is I have all the symptoms that you read on there, except for like one. But when you read all the symptoms, they're like, not everybody has all the symptoms.
You have all of them but one.
And
what's the one? What's the one?
Like, I haven't lost a crap ton of weight on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
the only one you want.
I know, right? That would be useful. But no, so anyway, but it all says it's hard to diagnose. You can get a blood test for the lipase and the something else, but that doesn't always say. Sometimes you have to do this, that, or the other thing. They can do scans and stuff to see if your pancreas is at the stage from chronic pancreatitis that it's like hardening or something. But if it goes untreated, which untreated means they give you pain medication for when you're in pain, you can end up with type 3C diabetes because your pancreas isn't working to make insulin. You can end up with pancreatic cancer. You can end up with, I can't remember, something else. I don't know. But anyway, I've just been having a bout of pain after I eat for the past 4 or 5. Has it been a week yet? I'm not sure.
And we just had dinner right before we logged on.
Yeah.
So, do we go back to the doctor and tell him?
Tell him what?
You can do the blood test. Maybe they can find
again.
something. Oh, they've already done it for lipase?
That's right, yeah. They've done it a couple times. It hasn't shown anything. Because when they take it, I'm not in pain. So you have to have it done when you're in pain and you're having an episode for it to show up.
But she also did it this week, and where she took her pain medication, what is it, Oxycontin?
It's Tylenol with codeine. Yep.
And her face got all swole the next day, and it blocked her up, and she couldn't go to the bathroom.
Yep. I shouldn't have taken it.
It causes so much other things that it's a nightmare.
I took it because it was bad. It was bad.
Your face is back to normal now.
Well, thank you.
But I told her, I said, your face is so puffy, it looks like you're pregnant again.
Everything else
She said, thanks a lot, honey. I'm like, no, I'm honest with you. I'll tell you.
Everything else is bad. I'm bloated everywhere else. Maybe it'll start going down. Maybe my face is the first thing to go down. I don't know. But I took it because the pain was really bad. I only take it when it's really bad. But I don't know that I can do that anymore either because it's not worth it. I took it Friday.
And you still didn't sleep.
Tuesday.
You were up till 4 in the morning just in pain.
Yeah. And I took it on, I think, Friday. And it's Tuesday. And I'm still having issues from taking it.
That one pill.
Right. So.
And you're still in pain. It's not like your pain went away.
No. It's not worth it. Not worth it at all.
Anyway, that's our medical minute.
Yeah.
At Wes Iseli's Magiclife podcast.
Isn't that just the positive corner of our podcast?
Medical minute. We'll have to do a roundup. I like that segment.
Geez. Oh, goodness.
After our podcast today, we're going to log back on and do a Patreon extra. If you guys are on Patreon, I put out a thing this week that is just Natalie and I. So send us some questions and we'll do a Ask Us Anything segment. So I got a whole bunch of questions. I got them from Instagram and people emailing me and different things. And that'll be fun. We'll do that next. So if you guys want to hear an extra podcast extra, go to patreon.com/Wes_Iseli for discounts on merchandise. Teacher trick. I did a show and tell this week, and I took out all my die boxes and showed you how they all worked. All the little mechanisms in it. Natalie filmed it.
Yep.
Some of them are pretty cool.
Yeah.
That guy that came over to the house, he brought his girl.
Uh-huh.
I did it for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, do it for my girl. He just wanted to see it. He just liked how they all work and all the different mechanisms and all the...
Oh, yeah.
They're neat.
Yeah.
It's neat.
Yeah.
But that was like a 15-minute video, just that one, yeah.
It was.
And I put up like 4 a week, so $5 a month, $3 a month. There's also a free plan if you just want to dip your toes in and see what Patreon's all about. Come on with us. Sign up. We're having fun, and we do it every single week. What else you got going on? Is that everything?
I think that's everything.
Is that it? Did we get an hour?
Yeah.
We have lots more in store for you guys. Working on booking the next round of guests. It's just crazy. I have a meeting on Friday, and I'm like, yeah, I think I'll be available, but we're supposed to get a foot of snow. I hope we have power. 2 years ago, we lost power for 6 days.
Yeah, 6 days.
So we're out in the country.
Sounds like, though, if we're just going to get a dusting,
we'll be fine.
That'll be the time the power goes out, though. Just for dusting.
Golly.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's it. That's everything for today.
Yep.
Only thing left we have to say is, see you next week.
Check us out online at wesisley.com and patreon.com/Wes_Isley for behind-the-scenes videos, blooper videos, never-before-seen footage, discounts on merchandise, magic trick tutorials, and more. That's Wes Isley, spelled Wesiseli.